According to recent statistics, up to 30 million men in the United States experience erectile dysfunction, often linked to underlying health conditions and lifestyle factors. 50% of those afflicted say ED negatively affects their everyday life, resulting in lower self-confidence, less frequent sex, and their ability to have intimate moments with their partner. The good news is treatment is available and improving every day, but it's imperative to seek out a qualified urologist who's specialized in ED.
I think it's important to find a urologist that really specializes in erectile dysfunction. It's important, I think, for just the ability to offer the full spectrum of treatment. I think a lot of men know about some of the most common things that are used for erectile dysfunction, but there's a lot of treatment options for ED. And I like to talk to guys about how it doesn't have to be a sequential process. It's sort of like whatever feels right. But most men start with oral options. These are the things that everyone's kind of heard of, like Viagra and Cialis. Unfortunately, though, those fail about 40% of the time. And so I like to talk to guys about all the other stuff that exists. There's medications that are kind of an intraurethral suppository, so things that go right into the urethra. There's medications that you can learn to actually inject into the penis, which sounds kind of scary, but actually a lot of men do great with that. And then finally, there's procedures that we can do to kind of fix erectile dysfunction as well. So surgeries that I can do to kind of get things back to normal.
Dr. Muncy is a fellowship-trained prosthetic urologist with expertise in sexual medicine, male fertility, and men's health. He utilizes a variety of treatment methods to restore function in men experiencing erectile dysfunction, including the only FDA-approved penile implant for the treatment of ED in the presence of Peyronie's disease, the Titan Penile Implant from Coloplast. A long-term, cost-effective solution for erectile dysfunction. The Titan procedure gives patients the ability to have an erection instantly and spontaneously at any time, with minimal recovery time.
Peyronie's disease is a common condition that affects probably 1 out of 10 men. The other things that can happen are erectile dysfunction, length loss, and even penile pain when guys are getting erect. The Coloplast Titan is the only FDA-approved device that can treat erectile dysfunction in the presence of Peyronie's disease. I think some of the biggest advantages of penile implant is that there's no medications involved, there's no needles involved, and there's no unwanted side effects that sometimes come from, medications and injections.
Easy to use and activate. The Titan inflatable penile implant from Coloplast looks and feels like a natural erection and has a 98% patient satisfaction rate. Partner satisfaction is also high at 96%.
Most of the patients that I talk with are really happy that they went through this procedure. They're excited that they have a more natural approach to managing their erectile dysfunction. They're definitely more spontaneous in their ability to perform, and they wish they would have done it sooner. You hear over and over that they were tired of fumbling through the steps of management and the disappointment of that not working for them. And now they have a more steady foundation or a more steady process that they can manage this with.
By listening and responding, Coloplast is making life easier for people with intimate healthcare needs. If you're struggling with ED, talk to a specialist and learn about your options. Today's discreet treatments can help you determine which treatment option is the best for you and your lifestyle, so you can perform at your best and live your best, most connected life.
When we talk about ED, it was 10 years before I even considered having an implant. That's 10 years with the woman that I love that I had to figure out how we were going to make a connection. So as you can imagine, all of those factors and decisions played into my mind that I really wanted to move on. I really wanted to be a complete person. I wanted to be whole, hence the implant. I am grateful to have this implant for a couple of reasons. One is that now I can focus on the needs of my partner, my spouse, instead of worrying needlessly about my own performance. And I had groveled in my performance for well over a decade, and I was tired of it. And I was starting to feel bad about myself. Well, the implant took all that away, like that fast. And suddenly I became not really a different person, but I felt like a different person. The Coloplast implant for me was a lifesaver, and it literally has changed the way I feel about relationships. which is kind of weird because people think of it as more of a functional thing. I actually don't think that way anymore. I think, yes, I have this implant, but now it's become what I can focus on from the emotional standpoint. So for me, I could go on and on about how great the Coloplast implant is.
It was definitely a good decision. I'm pleased as punch to have him have done that, because it has definitely made a better relationship for us because of the spontaneity, the timing of being able to do it, and that all made a big impact on our relationship. And like I said, after 43 years, I think we're better now than we have been, because there's no time frame to say, okay, well, I have 5 minutes, honey. So that part's been really nice.
I think the future is bright. I like to talk to men that erectile dysfunction is one of those diseases that we actually have a cure for. You know, a lot of problems in medicine don't necessarily have a fix or a cure, but for men that have been struggling with erectile dysfunction, this effectively can cure their problem and kind of help them get their lives back.
Erectile dysfunction doesn't have to be a permanent condition. It's time to let those want it now moments happen freely again. Reclaim your confidence and take back control. Learn more today about the Titan Penile Implant from Coloplast. Lasting, effective solutions for men's intimate healthcare needs. For more information or to find a physician, go to coloplastmenshealth.com/all-access.